highs top out closer to average with afternoon and evening storms possible. 94 Albuquerque, 88 Santa Fe. I'm meteorologist Olga Breeze for KOAT 7.
The following program is for informational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Do not rely on the information shared on this show for urgent medical needs. If you believe you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911 immediately. The views expressed by guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the station or its affiliates.
Welcome to The Doctor Is In, your weekly house call on the radio. It's where straight talk meets science. Join your host, Dr. Greg Scher, every other week, joined by medical experts, specialists, and frontline pros, breaking down the issues that affect your health, your family, and your future. If you've got a question for the doctor, the phone lines are open, 505-243-3333. And now, Dr. Greg Scher.
Oh, man, do we have a fun show today. I don't know. It feels like a party here tonight. It's today. We got deviled eggs. We've got croissants. I don't know what kind of peach mix we got. Two of my absolutely favorite people to work with decided to come on and join us and tell their story. We rarely, usually it's a bunch of stuffy physicians. So today we're talking to Jade and Corey, a married couple, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, they are married. And you guys are living, I swear to God, it's true, the life that I kind of wish that I could have done. I took a very different turn in life. I decided to go and, lots of extra training and have a bunch of kids and be anchored down in where I'm at. But you two, have you always been traveling nurses, or did you meet and kind of have a house and have a life, or how did this happen?
Well, we haven't always been on the road. I was a travel nurse.
You were first?
Mm-hmm. I started in an RV that was probably half the size of what we live in right now.
Okay, I'm picturing like Ken Kesey and the Magic Bus and like and a bunch of you and your friends like traveling the country and making twice as much money as the regular nurses and having like late night cookout parties. Is that the life that we're talking about, traveling nurse life?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like camping every day.
We call it glamping, right?
Yeah,
oh, nice.
Every day is just being out in the woods and having our own little spot. And
that is so cool. Is this a new option for nurses? I mean, now it seems like everybody does traveling nurses. It's more lucrative, and I guess it seems freer. That's my point. Did you guys meet on the road?
So Corey, started traveling, and then I was full time at Providence St. Vincent in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And I was doing a lot of ortho and neurosurgery and whatnot. And Corey came in and was charge nurse.
He was like, "Hi, I'm from out of town. I got a camper in the woods."
In all honesty, it hit me like a bag of bricks, but nonetheless, we became really good friends. And then, love developed after that. And then, he's like,
Love
"Hey,
I'm married." Okay.
He's like, "We're in this." He was living in this little R pod, and it came the time to move in together. And he's like,
"Oh hell no!"
Time
to upgrade.
I was like, "Well, to be honest, this sounds great. I've always wanted to travel nurse and kind of experience that avenue of growth and obviously money and see a little bit more of the country." So the idea was tantalizing to me, and I was like, "What a great opportunity!" But we have this 6-year-old iguana that is massive, like 5.5 feet. Yeah, his name's
You acquired
Skillet.
this in Oregon, or
Yeah, he was a rescued iguana from Portland, Oregon.
Iguana.
And
The plot thickens.
I used to having him just kind of free roam my apartment and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, where's he gonna be at if we get an RV?
I have this iguana I rescued.
Yeah, I got a 20-year commitment.
What's his name?
Skillet.
Skillet. Okay, so we got Skillet, and he took you on despite this.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the rite of passage, really.
You must take me and my iguana.
Absolutely.
That's the way it's gonna
be. There was some hazing that went down, but I wasn't used to reptiles growing up, so it was definitely different. But
dude, you're amazing to me. If I ever tried in my life to get a nurse to go to the woods in a camper, I don't think I would have ever succeeded. I don't know how you did that. It was just extraordinary. Jerry, today's episode is how to get a nurse in a camper.
Or maybe not.
All right, well, we'll change it to something else. Wait, so I heard a good story. Jerry was talking about his Oregon connection.
Oh, my Oregon connection.
And so you were waiting. We were trying to figure out whether does everybody do acid in Oregon? And that's how this whole discussion began. But so
my Uncle Irby lived in Oregon. And I just so happened to be waiting tables at a steakhouse, Great American Land and Cattle Company in El Paso. It's my family's restaurant.
Oh.
And there was a group of about 6 people, and they just had an air about them. And it's like, you guys aren't from El Paso, are you? No, we're from Los Angeles. And we're in the movie business. We're filming the movie
your favorite
Conan the Conan the Barbarian.
Right.
They were back in the mid 80s. And I said, oh, maybe you know my uncle, he's in the movie business. It's the thing I like to say when somebody says I'm from California, and it's like, oh, I grew up in California.
But
maybe out of 50 million people, maybe you know him. And I said Irby Smith, and they said, oh, I talked to your mom when on Thanksgiving one year because your Uncle Irby had dropped some acid and didn't want to talk to your mom. It's like, I was just kidding, and I actually had a connection to these people.
So the answer is everybody does drop acid in Oregon. Can you guys
I guess
confirm
so.
that?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of acid, and the mycology culture is really strong out there also.
Yes. Okay. All right, so you guys, well, we won't go over that. So the draw,
kids don't do drugs.
Don't do
finish
drugs.
that.
Yeah, don't do drugs.
So the draw to do the kind of work, like, so the audience understands, like, we are reliant on people like you, and that's a huge shift in what's happening in healthcare. I remember when I started, if you weren't committed to a hospital and you didn't have a house in town, you probably weren't going to get a good nursing gig. And then COVID changed everything, right? How did it affect you guys? Did it push you into traveling more?
I actually started traveling during COVID.
Yeah.
And
I think a lot of people did, right?
Yeah. And it was, regulations and standards that were always very strict became kind of laxed. And
you could go.
I was like, why not just, if we're going to be a little unsafe, like, I'll go make some more money. So
did you go to any of the COVID centers? Like, they were paying a ridiculous amount of money for nurses to go to New York City in the middle of it.
No, I went. I traveled just back to Ohio, which is where where I grew up. I had family there, and worked on a neuro team. But it was kind of just nice to go back to where I grew up, and then after that went to Portland, and it was a lot of fun to just meet new people and do new things. And if you didn't like a place, you could leave, and if you liked a place, you have the option to stay.
So are there sort of like communities of you guys or websites or something that you like talk about the jobs and if they're good and if you travel there? I mean, like, how does it all work?
Oh, you have a way better COVID story than I do. I started the perioperative program during COVID, and all elective surgeries got canceled.
And you're like, how are you going to train me?
Yeah, exactly. So I got moved to the coffin corner of the ED, and it was pretty dark
You need to
times.
explain what that means, because I think.
Well, in other words, like, it was just the corner of the ED where we were still figuring out what COVID was, what PPE we needed, and everything like that. And it was pretty dark to the point where there was like an extra morgue, like right outside the ED of the hospital.
Lord, yeah.
So
this was in Oregon?
Yeah, this was in Oregon.
So, like, it was just death day after day with that?
Not death after day, but like we were still just kind of preparing. The ED was on divert, we didn't know if people had the flu or like some respiratory illness, or if it was just straight up COVID. Still figuring out what it was.
Did you get COVID?
I did get COVID, yes.
When you were working?
Mm-hmm.
And you were laid out and stuck in the camper at that point? I mean, like, how bad was it?
It was pretty bad. I'd say about 2 weeks, but at that time I got COVID. We kind of understood what it was, and we're testing for it.
But how were you working in the ED and you didn't have it, like, as one of the first people who got it?
No, we certainly, I think, was one of the first people that did get it.
Yeah. Did you get it, Court?
I got it later on, kind of on the hind end of once I got my 2 vaccines. So definitely saw a lot of people struggle that didn't get the vaccine.
Man, I had it, and I worked I just had to work. We had so many sick patients coming in. I did surgeries, I never took a break. Although I can tell you one night when I first got it the first time, I probably had it 3 times because we were always in there. And I could feel my lungs filling up with fluid. I mean, and I was still trying to operate and take care of these sick patients that were coming in. And I called up my wife and I was like, I'm going to get intubated. I'm going to end up on a ventilator if this doesn't break by tomorrow morning. And it did. By the following morning, it was about 20% less. And I don't think I did myself any favors. I got this hero complex,
Well, the malaise is real, just kind of the best way out of it is through it, right?
Well, right. Yeah. So that should be it. That's the statement for today. The best way through it is right through it. All right. Should we take a break? We're good to go. All right. So we're here with Jade and Corey, our traveling nurses, and 2 of the most delightful people that I know. I think the way to stay married is to go travel together and live in a camper in the woods with an iguana named Skillet. Oh, yeah. Sounds like a great plan. It's got to be easier than having 7 kids. Anyway, give us a call if you got any questions or text us. They will answer anything about what it is like to be a nurse. We'll get into the career a little bit, what their experience is, where they've been and traveled. And I think it's such an interesting option now that it's bona fide. People are doing it a lot. So we're going to hear all about it. Our number, 505-243-3333, 96.3 News Radio KKOB, the doctors, and give us a call or a text. We'll be back.
When New Mexico wakes up, the news doesn't wait. From the Roundhouse to Rio Rancho, from traffic to the stories everyone will be talking about by lunch, 96.3 News Radio KKOB is where the day starts. Local news, weather, traffic, politics, and the voices New Mexico knows. Start informed. Start local. Start with 96.3 News Radio KKOB.
Physical recovery looks different for everyone, but having the right team and the right tools makes all the difference. At Encompass Health Rehabilitation Hospital of Albuquerque, their clinicians use cutting-edge technology, from robotic exoskeletons that rebuild movement to simulators that practice everyday skills like getting in a car, climbing stairs, or moving through your home, alongside expert therapy and around-the-clock nursing care. Your recovery plan, your goals. Every tool needed to get there. Visit encompasshealth.com to learn more.
Celebrate freedom all month long at Ridgeford's used car department. Get freedom from high prices, payments for 90 days with your good credit, and peace of mind with every vehicle safety certified by Ridgeford Master Technicians. They also come with a 100,000-mile or 2-year warranty, whichever comes first. And the selection is hot this 4th of July.
With a selection like this, we have something for everyone in the used car department. We have the best selection of Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned vehicles, like a Ford Explorer, a Ford Edge, a Chevy Colorado, or even a Nissan Rogue for $21,995. How about a Hyundai Tucson, a Chevy Trax, or a Dodge Hornet for $22,995? For a little more, we have a BMW X3 or a Nissan Versa for $23,995. Or you could take home a Ford Bronco, a Nissan Altima, or a Jeep Renegade for $24,995. Didn't hear the one you want? Drive through our lot 24/7 and take a look at our selection.
Plus, instant financing, instant delivery, and no payments for 90 days with your good credit. Head to Ridgeford at the super corner of Lomas and Wyoming Northeast. Online at rich-ford.com, and we're open Sunday.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Eric Strauss here. My home has become my happy place, but I started noticing scuffs, faded colors, and peeling paint that needed attention. Whether inside or out, protect your home with quality paint and a worry-free process. That's why I hired CertaPro. They turn my cabinets into brand new, and they can do the same for you. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. thanks to the Good Feet store.
Are you struggling with bad feet? Hi, it's Mike from the Good Feet store. I'd like you to hear what Kelsey, a kinesiologist, has to say about how your feet can affect your entire body.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy, you're going to feel better. Being able to move freely means everything to me, and good movement starts with the feet. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that they support all 4 arches in the foot.
So did you even know you had 4 arches in each foot? Most people don't, and most shoes and inserts only support one of your foot's arches. Learn how Good Feet arch supports can support all 4 of your arches. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store. We're located on Louisiana and Uptown Boulevard.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
News Radio KKOB is crystal clear in your office all day long. Listen at 96.3 News Radio KKOB.
All right, we are back with Jade and Corey, 2 former traveling nurses, and I think you and that profession were sort of created by the COVID epidemic. Is that true though? Did people travel before the COVID epidemic, whatever kind of epidemic it was?
I feel like there were travelers, but not as many.
It wasn't mainstream.
Yeah, it was.
I'm gonna have to jump in here. It was definitely not as many, but yeah, there was.
Yeah. So it definitely wasn't as lucrative. They were paying people.
They were getting paid a lot of money
Yeah.
when we talked to our family. We talked to it. It's like, yeah, we make too much money for us not to be travelers.
So we were fortunate enough at Presbyterian to hire you away from the lifestyle, and that is a blessing for us because we have been short nurses and dedicated people who are staying locally. And I don't know if you want to talk about that story a little bit, but we were delighted that Phoenix didn't work out. You tried to leave us for Phoenix, and then I wanted you back desperately in my operating room, and you were like, well, Dr. Scher, so amazing. I think I'll just come back to Albuquerque. Is that how it happened? Or?
That's exactly what happened. I felt like a tinge in my ear, and I was like, oh, that's our chief of neurosurgery summoning us back. No, so we had left to go to Kingman, Arizona, and just kind of.
It sucked.
Yeah, it sucked. It didn't work out,
short,
and that's okay. We left on professional terms.
Good.
Pretty much, long story short, they just weren't pretty transparent about the respite period, which is kind of a deal breaker for us travelers. We're happy to hustle, but don't want to work all day, all night.
We want to drink beer and tailgate the rest of the time.
So
exactly.
With our skillet.
And then having, 3 months at Presbyterian quickly turned into a whole year. And, it just felt so natural and inviting for us to just like sign on. Everyone's been so kind.
Yeah.
There's opportunities for growth, which, was kind of attractive to us.
I think
love the team.
I think you guys are kind of, first of all, you came with a bunch of neuro experience, which makes, and that's the biggest growing department that Press has at the moment surgically. And so you sort of both fit in really well. Just knowing and helping us with the growth. That's such an important part of why we need you. Have other places tried to keep you, or were you the first ones?
Yeah, that we've I think up in Washington, out in California, they all wanted us to stay, but we just kind of did our time there and got to see what we wanted to see.
And for the high desert,
we just wanted to hit the road again and see something new.
Where have you been? Like, where do you got to go every 6 months or something, right?
Yeah, so contracts typically are 3 months, and then you can extend if they have, openings for that. But
aren't there rules about how long you can stay? Period. Though?
Yeah,
one year.
1 year.
You can stay a whole year. Okay.
Exactly. So we stayed a whole year at Presbyterian. We're like,
back.
dang, we gotta leave. So we ended up coming back. But
yeah, we've been been back to Oregon, up to Portland, Washington, near Seattle, and
so you're kind of a here and west.
Yeah, Midwest, West primarily, but there's still time to go east.
Coast.
Not with the RV yet.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to, some PTO to do that.
Yeah, that's what you're going to get.
Trailer gas is expensive, and it'll be nice to have some paid time off to be able to, maybe go to New Orleans. And
do you think you'll ever own a house?
Yeah, we would like to buy some land someday
Buy some land
and
and do something.
start out, plant the trailer on the land, and then kind of build as we.
Come out to my place as long as you can clean horse stalls. I figure you got some land you can hang out on. Why not?
I'm sure I can make it work.
I mean, it doesn't smell that bad.
Do we get
It's
like
only
callback pay for that, or?
You can work something out. So I got to get into this because again we've had some offline discussions that were kind of interesting. So it seems to me like Jade, your family and your growing up experience, you sound like you were from a family of a little bit of a nomads, adventurers, kind of fascinating story, right?
Yeah. I was raised by a single mom. She's fierce and great, and just
She had a wild affair with a bull rider from Spain, or something. and you were the product of that. I don't know what the
pretty
story
much. My mom was outgoing lady. Had 2 kids on her own and made time for fun though.
Was she a nurse?
Oh no, she wasn't a nurse. She was a manager at a law office for workman's comp.
Okay.
And pretty much met my dad one day on the beach. He was from Madrid. I guess he was a surfer and a model of some sort. And
clearly, how could you turn that down? I'm not even a chick.
And then, then I was born.
And Corey's the same. You had an adventurous upbringing.
My family grew up in West Virginia, and my great grandma, who I unfortunately didn't have the pleasure of meeting, used to cook moonshine in the hills, and heard this story of how she was arrested for cooking moonshine, but that didn't stop her. So sounded like a fun lady.
I have a similar story. My dad had me when he was 50, and actually I have a kid when I turned 50, and I always wanted to do that, believe it or not, because I had a great relationship with him. He lived to be very old, and we had so many fun adventures. He was 65 by the time I was 15, but we traveled Europe and did all kinds of cool stuff. And then he tells this story, back. So he was born in 1920, and during the Prohibition years, his family made money they were, nobody had money to pay rent or anything like that. So they would skip from one house to the next, and then his grandfather was cooking up gin in the bathtub upstairs. Like you heard of bathtub gin? It was a real thing. So he came home from school one day. He's like 12, and as he's walking down the street, the roof blows off this house that they're renting, and his parents come running out, and they got to find some other place to live. The thing's on fire.
Oh my goodness, that is wild. They probably grew their own juniper and all the herbs for that gin.
Yeah, so that's the darker side of my family. They were bathtub gin makers, I guess. I don't know. So what does it take to become the kind of nurses that you guys are? It seems to me, especially if you specialize with neuro, it's got to be a lot of exams and tests and everything. Like, it's not as carefree as we're all telling the story. Obviously, you're professionals. And how many years and what was your trip to becoming a nurse?
Honestly, to begin with, I went from belly dancing to I want to be part of a collective.
The story gets even better.
I want to be.
Jerry was a belly dancer for a long time too.
I see that shimmy there.
Shimmy and shake. Yeah.
The GLP.
I put the belly in the belly dancer.
That's great. Well, we got to get back to that, but okay. So
no, just
can we extend to 2 hours, Jerry? I just want to talk to these two.
I wish.
All right. So you what? Okay, so then you were like, "Oh no, I need a bona fide salary and a career." So
yeah, absolutely. Wanted to be part of a collective greater than myself, and I'm like, well, I love art, I love science, like that's the epitome of nursing, right?
So nobody in your family was a nurse. You just out of the blue, you're like, let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay.
It's kind of I was kind of gravitated to psychiatric nursing before, working in the OR. Just having watched movies and true crime and stuff like that. So I started and got through the nursing program, went to University of Portland in Oregon and loved it. And then, went through you get some of these experiences during nursing school.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember looking through like a med surg book, and there was an operating room theater, back then. And they're smoking cigarettes, and I'm like, wow.
Ether from the ceiling. And
Yeah, and I'm looking at the curriculum, and I'm like, oh, I don't see operating room in any of this. Is that part of our curriculum? They're like, no, not really.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah, very specialized. And so I had a cool professor, though, that created a window of opportunity for me to go shadow the peds surgery center, and it was awesome. Like,
so you found your own inspiration. I mean, a lot of people. It's funny. I'll probably tell this story a little bit later, but I had a kind of a tragic story of a patient with a brain tumor recently, and had to talk to that for her children. And more than once of my having to deliver news to the family of the kids. Some kids get very inspired by this and they want to become surgeons. And I've actually seen in my career one or two that kind of headed in that direction, went to med school. So you never had one of those kind of things. It was just like.
Career-wise, not really.
Yeah.
But my mom got pretty sick when I was a teenager. She actually had 2 strokes.
Oh, wow.
Kind of back to back. And it kind of made me curious about, my lineage. Like, my grandma had a stroke. My great-grandma had a stroke. What is the culprit here?
Right.
And, I just watched,
Are you on
them
an
being
aspirin?
a baby aspirin. But, I've watched these nurses and doctors and all the medical teams just take excellent care of my mom.
Wow.
And like integrate
Why
the
did she
team.
have a stroke? Do you know?
I believe it's birth control.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Was
and
she a
just
smoker
having
too,
the
or-
Leiden B factor.
Yeah,
And
Leiden,
then-
factor 5 Leiden,
Mhm.
which makes you clot too easily in your blood. You make these little balls of clot that travel through the arteries and cause an infarct, or basically stops the blood supply to some portion of the brain. So factor 5, if anybody out there has coagulation problems, that's something you want to be on some kind of a blood thinner for. So
Absolutely.
she survived 2 strokes.
Yeah,
Wow.
she sure did.
And did you take care of her after that? Or?
Yeah, she had a husband at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
family was there at her side, but watching, these doctors and nurses collectively get, speech
That was
pathology
kind of
on board,
inspirational,
PT on board, and just seeing the team dynamic and results. She would cry because she couldn't remember my name, but
Oh,
she
wow.
knew who I was.
So is that sort of a left frontal stroke, probably?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, but watching her kind of, improve her memory, she'd be like, she's very jovial and has a really fun sense of humor. And she would pronounce my brother's friend's name Lucas. She would say Lushkis. And he's like, Lori, it's Lucas. And she's like, sorry, something's wrong with my beard. But she meant to
Yeah.
say brain.
Yeah, those word substitutions. Yeah.
But if you look at her now, I mean,
She's alive.
She's alive. She's doing well. Some people think she's my sister. You wouldn't believe
That's
some of the
cool.
things she's been through.
And her speech is the same or better? Or
I
no?
mean, sometimes something is wrong with her beard
she
still.
If she gets tired.
Yeah, very articulate and
Oh,
intelligent.
that is
though.
such a great story. So, as you guys probably know this, but my biggest passion is developing a stroke program for the state.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate enough. Presbyterian's been amazing in building that new room 25. For those who don't know, it's a room where we can put a catheter up inside the brain and pull out the stroke, and the person having one-sided weakness or speech problems can wake up and it's all gone, and then they can walk out of the hospital darn near the same day. And so my 2 colleagues, Dr. Alvarez and Ernst, do that catheter work, and they hired them too. And so we're eventually going to have something that treats stroke. I'm glad you brought up the story because it's my biggest passion. So before we take a break, Corey, did you have somebody in your life that made you become a nurse? Any story that?
My aunt was a nurse. My dad's sister.
Oh, so you got a long history of that.
And so I went and shadowed her one day, and I always kind of gravitated towards science in school, and that was kind of my strongest subject. So
all right, we'll come back and hear more about that. That's cool. My mom was a psychiatrist, and I wanted nothing to do with it, and so I found my way through a totally different avenue. Sometimes they inspire you, sometimes they don't inspire you. It's like anyway. We're going to take a quick break. This is such a fascinating discussion. I am jealous of my 2 friends, Corey and Jade, who are married and who travel the world. Maybe it'll have to be world next. Maybe we'll go to China or something. I don't know. Did you
right?
Nursing? And we'll be back. We'll take any questions or text if you want. 505-243-3333, the doctor's zone.
Physical recovery looks different for everyone, but having the right team and the right tools makes all the difference. At Encompass Health Rehabilitation Hospital of Albuquerque, their clinicians use cutting-edge technology, from robotic exoskeletons that rebuild movement to simulators that practice everyday skills like getting in a car, climbing stairs, or moving through your home, alongside expert therapy and around-the-clock nursing care. Your recovery plan, your goals. Every tool needed to get there. Visit encompasshealth.com to learn more.
Attention New Mexico business owners, startup, small or established. Are you ready to grow? Join us August 6th for the New Mexico Business Growth Summit, hosted by SCORE Albuquerque, with presenting sponsors Bank of America and City of Albuquerque Economic Development. Choose from 3 business tracks, plus expert panels on access to capital, AI automation, and cybersecurity. Register now for just $45. Includes breakfast, snacks, and lunch. Go to newsradiokkob.com and click on the New Mexico Business Growth Summit ad rotating at the top to sign up.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
What if I told you there's only one home improvement you're already paying for every single month? Think about it. A new kitchen? You have to find the money. A new roof? You got a budget for that. A new addition? That's a major investment. But electricity? You're already paying for that every month, year after year, for the rest of your life. The difference is when you pay your utility bill, that money's gone forever. But with solar, that same amount can be redirected to owning an asset on your home, one that produces power, reduces future electric costs, and can pay for itself over time. Instead of paying the utility company, invest in your own energy independence. Sunstate Solar has helped hundreds of New Mexico homeowners take control of rising energy costs with custom solar solutions designed for our unique climate and utility programs. Find out how much solar could save you. Call Sunstate Solar 505-225-8502 or online at sunstatesolar.com. Sunstate Solar, solar, roofing, and more. Own your power.
Drawing on intimate, unseen archives and powerful first-hand testimony, Once Upon a Time in Space tells the human stories of bravery, friendship, and tragedy that lay behind our quest to explore space, from the space shuttle to the space station. See the personal experiences of astronauts, cosmonauts, ground-based crews, and the loved ones left on Earth. Once Upon a Time in Space premieres Tuesday, July 14th at 8 on NMPBS Channel 5.1 and streaming on the PBS app.
Weeknights belong to Strauss. The House of Strauss lives right here. Weeknights at 6 on 96.3 News Radio KKOB.
All right, we are back with the Dr. Zim. This has already been off the charts delightful to talk to you too. There's a sense of freedom, I think, about your lives as a couple that does traveling nursing. If I'm not mistaken, you guys aren't tied down by kids or mortgages or just this damn iguana.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Skillet has his own room, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has
Does he wander free in the room, or does he have like a cage?
Yeah, we built him an enclosure. It's probably like 6 feet long, and then it was like a TV room, and we took the TV out and built him an enclosure. It's basically his room. So
are they?
we let him out.
Are they affectionate? I mean, are they like having a dog, or
Not necessarily like a dog.
do they know you're there?
I
That's
think
my question.
I believe Skillet recognizes our voice and like our scent. He knows, we're obviously, he's very snack driven. So he knows we're the snack dealers.
Corey is too. She had to feed him deviled eggs to keep him away from the cooking.
This is true. Corey's a snake for deviled eggs.
Sure am.
But yeah, just we knew getting the fifth wheel, we had this 20-year commitment, big little dragon that we had to take care of. So We had them take out the couch. They gave us like $200 for it.
No way.
Yeah, and Corey just converted the coolest little plexiglass customized enclosure for him.
Are you the like traveling engineer? Like what was it, Scotty on Star Trek or something? You have to rebuild things.
I make sure
fix
all
the engines.
the dials are working and everything's up to scratch before we take off.
Well, talk about that a little bit. So half of your life is maintaining. I guess you got a big truck and a fifth wheel and all that. I mean, you ever break down somewhere?
Yeah, absolutely. So we were kind of having this little travel high, kind of newly married. We're going from we took an assignment in Shasta, beautiful town. I don't know if you guys ever been to Whiskey Town. Talk about like emerald water. You could
It's California, right?
Yeah, California, northern. You could just park on the side, go catch a fish.
Cool.
Remember we were paddleboarding, Corey?
Oh yeah.
And we saw Corey's like, "There's a bear, babe. There's a
No
bear."
way,
And I'm just paddleboarding, and I'm like,
gotta go faster.
I like took a ungraceful I don't know hit. I pretty much like fell in the water.
Okay.
But we got to watch a mother bear with like 2 of her cubs just like hanging out. But on the way from Shasta, this happy time to Oregon, took a travel assignment in Oregon. We were going through the redwoods.
Oh, cool.
And I think
That's beautiful.
Corey, you had some sort of like GPS
Mushrooms
setting
or
where
Yeah, my GPS likes to play tricks on me, and it set itself for avoid all highways.
Oh,
and
gosh.
so we're taking this really strange route, and we started going through this neighborhood, and all of a sudden it went to like a one lane road,
Like a dirt road.
yeah, like a zigzag up a mountain. And so
And you guys just kept going. Yeah, we'll keep going. Why not?
Yeah, we were too far in to realize that it wasn't going anywhere, and I was like, I can't back this thing. We have a 42-foot trailer. I was like, I can't back this thing up. So we just snaked our way up the hill, and Jade said,
you were a boss in that. I remember we pulled over and Corey's like, "Babe, I don't know if we're gonna
lost.
make it." And I go, "We're literally got 2 more zigzags. Triple A's
You
not
have
coming
to
out
do-
here.
you have to do it.
Like we're gonna
2
do it or
nurses
die
found dead in the
trying."
woods.
So I'm in an SUV with the animals, and Corey's driving this enormous rig like a boss, and we're just creeping up the mountain, trying to gain enough like speed to make that
sure, yeah.
adequate turn. But at some point, I'm not even joking, part of the mountain just like crumbled under like the back
The
of
weight of the
like the
truck.
we were
RV.
pulling onto the highway.
Yeah.
Like we had just made it to the highway.
And I'm like, oh my goodness. But Corey just hit the gas and cleared it. My car was small enough to clear it, but it broke
You
one of
almost
our
died.
pipes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of our gray water tanks, which for people that don't know, holds like your shower water, your sink water, and so we pull over and there's just this rancid smell because
It was awful.
We had to get a hotel because we couldn't stand the smell.
You guys were spraying toilet water down the street.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Oh gosh, it was a nightmare, and we're just like, do we have to get rid of this thing? Like, is it not
That's
livable
awesome.
anymore? And
Have you ever had to be nurses? Like you something on the side of the accident or anything where you?
I know there was one time where I was living in Columbus, Ohio, and I saw a car accident.
Yeah.
And the lady had been like texting on her phone, I guess. And
Don't do that to the audience.
Yes,
No
it's,
texting on the phone.
So she hit side by side with this semi and then collided into the median. And luckily she was okay, but I just stayed there with her tonight until the ambulance.
You didn't take her in the
and-
back of your camper and be like, I have an entire operating suite.
This was probably about 10 years ago. So, but
I've had a few. I was on a flight to Albuquerque and they beached me overhead on the flight. Go back to aisle 7. So no, it was aisle like 20 something. And by the time I got back there was another doctor, and we were working on this patient that had a seizure, ironically. And she looks at me and she's like, "Dr. Sherman," and I'm like, "Do I know you?" And she's like, "Well, I'm the other neurosurgeon here in town." So there was two neurosurgeons taking care of a seizure patient on the plane. What are the chances of that?
Yeah, right.
All right. This is just flying by. We only got a short segment left. I got like 1,000 questions. So we're going to take another break, and we're going to come back and probably talk a little bit about the day-to-day responsibilities of being an operating room nurse and how you transition from your temporary lifestyle to now, putting roots down. Maybe. All right. Doctor is in. Give us a call if you have a question. 505-243-3333.
Politics in New Mexico are never boring. Expensive? Sure. Confusing? Constantly. Boring? Not a chance. On 96.3 News Radio KKOB, we dig into what leaders say, what they actually do, and how it affects your wallet, your neighborhood, and your future. Left, right, or somewhere in the exhausted middle. This is where New Mexico talks it out. 96.3 News Radio KKOB.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Say.
That's fantastic. All right. We are back. I think probably in our final segment here with my two friends, Corey and Jade, who are married, who are traveling with us. On the break, we were having another really funny discussion. We really need to extend this. You got to come back. Obviously, there's like 10 more stories. So you're at a campground one time, and you end up befriending a bunch of raccoons. How did this happen?
Yeah, so we're in Fall City, Washington, just surrounded by forest.
In the woods, right?
In the woods. But 35 minutes from Seattle, but you're kind of out there, and we're just in our RV, and we would have it was like $5 for like a huge bundle of firewood delivered to us every
Sweet.
night, and they would just drop it off at our campsite. It was pretty awesome.
Bonfire.
Yeah, so I'm just like fixing up dinner outside, and I put some like mac and cheese, and it just disappears. And I'm like, Corey,
Stop eating the mac and
yeah,
cheese, bro.
did you just demolish the mac and cheese? And I hear like you could just see these glowing
Laughing in the
eyes.
woods.
Yeah, right.
And there was like it rains a lot out that way, and there was this puddle of like almost like a water, because we were parked, and then there's
Right,
like a
right.
little ditch, and then there's the woods.
Right.
And just right across is just a raccoon looking at us, staring at us,
Like
eating our mac and cheese.
dipping the mac and cheese. in the
Yeah.
water.
Like fancy bougie Beecher's macaroni and cheese.
So we start throwing it some like chips and marshmallows, and it slowly starts coming closer and closer. And day by day, it would get closer, and eventually it would take marshmallows out of our hands.
Just come and sit with you at the table. And be like, what are we having tonight?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you would just do a handshake with them, like, oh, thanks, dude.
yeah.
Thanks for the
Wild.
thanks for the bread. I'm out.
My wife's trying to train these ravens that are on our farm, and I guess you leave out beads, or I don't, how does this work? Like you leave out treats and fruit, and they bring you trash and beads or something. Is that what it is?
I've heard like they like shiny things, and like they'll protect your
Oh, they do. They chase away the other
like
birds and stuff.
bad birds or rodents or something like that, and protect your veggies, your farm.
We need more raven friends than raccoon friends. All right, enough of
Right.
that. So let's get back to it. I guess to be what you guys are is, you guys made it sound simple, but I mean it's a lot of schooling, and you're always taking exams. I always see you guys at the computer taking more tests and certifications, right?
Mhm.
Is that like every month or every year, or what do you got to do?
You do have to renew your nursing license and whatnot, and then you do have to do some continued educational units.
Do you guys have to get nursing licenses in each state that you go to?
So we have our home base set at in Ohio, and Ohio is a compact state.
Okay.
So when we were in Oregon, we would have to get a license for every state, but the compact license allows you to work in other compact states.
So you got to pay that state's license fee everywhere you go. You got to get permission to go there,
unless you have a license in a compact state. Then you can work anywhere
And
that's
the
a compact
majority of
state.
the U.S. it's like compact.
Yeah, I think all but like six.
Right.
All but
Well,
six.
so
states.
as a doctor, I have to get a new medical license in each state. It's rigorous. It takes like 3 to 4 months at a time, and
I bet.
It's like a colonoscopy with every one of them. It's just really
A lot of prep
it's just a
and
lot of
messy
prep.
work.
Yeah. So in other words, what the lead time for you to move to some other place, like you just went to Arizona, like you just call them up and you're like, hey, I'm coming next weekend. Is it that easy?
It's usually like they look. You start looking about a month out, and you can be somewhere new within a week or two and start a new job.
Listen to
and,
that, Presbyterian. These people that leave at any time. Do not let them go. We need them desperately.
I mean, you would just click like on a job, and you have a recruiter and this and
Okay.
that, and typically they'll call you for like a phone interview. I've never really had a Skype. It's literally like, hey, you're a person, you're credentialed. Tell me what kind of cases you do, what's your flow, and then they take a chance on you.
Yeah.
And then you go and work at the place
So
and hopefully rock
how
it.
hard is it for you guys to get placed together? Is that a problem? They only look for one nurse?
It's definitely been challenging. There's definitely places we'd like to go that we haven't really been able to go because there's only one job.
I got you.
But we always, manage to
Find a way.
Yeah, we always manage to find a way, and it all works out.
Or I'm wondering if
We
you could get like one in one hospital, one in another.
Yeah, we could, but it always just kind of works out that we find the place we want to go, and we're able to work together. And
so, and you were telling me there was a time when you had opposite shifts, and even though you lived in the same camper, you never saw each other for a year or something.
Yeah, about a good 6 months. Corey was a charge
But you were just
nurse
married,
on-
and that's a good way to start.
Yeah, it was. We were thriving in our own regard, but yeah, we missed each other. So eventually, we're like moving forward. It would be nice to at least have some day shifts or just time
similar
together.
shifts. So
Do you think you'll ever start a family and settle down? I mean, like, it's just, there's a part of this that's so much fun. I sit and think about it. I'm like, why not travel the world? I bet you there's international nursing. Is there?
Yeah, there is international nursing. I know a nurse that was in New Zealand,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure that you have to go through a more lengthy process to
Yeah.
kind of get an assignment like that. But
You'd have to ship the camper.
I know, or like sell it.
Put it on a big old
Get
boat.
some
and just-
paddles.
You know,
Yeah.
we went to Italy, we bought the RV and we went to Italy, and in Italy, I mean, in Rome, you don't see trucks. They're all
Right.
these little tiny
Little
cars.
motorcycles or cars.
People are
yeah.
taking the train, walking, and I'm like,
Smart
that would
cars.
never work out here unless we lived in like the country.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that, I don't know, at some point, we've been asked before, yeah, you do, we get tired too. And it's nice to find a team you actually like, you want to
Yeah, yeah.
acclimate, grow in. So
Yeah.
we bit the bullet
Yep. and we're
with
staying.
Presbyterian, and we're,
That's
we're
cool.
excited to stay for a
Love
while.
the
Well,
culture and been really cool out here.
I just like the sense of freedom about what you guys are doing. It's just I took a few years off after college and drank beer and played music in a bar in New York City, and
It's amazing.
and that was my time. But there wasn't much travel involved. I was waiting tables, man. I had nothing. All the money we made playing music was basically they delivered it in beer to the band, and we were happy at the end of the gig. We didn't owe them something for the pitchers of beer. So anyway, I think a lot of us would be jealous of the world that you live in. So let's see. The next steps for you guys are work your way up the ladder at Press and become charge nurse. Do you do charge nurse stuff, or what's kind of next for your growth?
Yeah, definitely open to it. I have a short amount of charge nurse experience. I'd be happy to help the team in that regard. I'm very interested in like team leading. I love teaching too.
Yeah. So you and Corey, you think you would do the same, or are you kind of happy where you're
Yeah,
at?
I like education, and team lead position would be awesome, and just kind of
That's cool.
become part of the team.
Well, this has been an amazing hour with Corey and Jade, traveling nurses who work with us in the operating room. Very gifted nurses, very friendly people, and I'm inspired by your adventures. So come back. We'll share some more crazy stories about you and your raccoon friends. Can't thank you enough for coming on and telling us about your careers and your life. What a great adventure. So we appreciate it, and come and join us in another 2 Saturdays. The doctor is in KKOB.